Sean,
got a couple zaps of some good kids.
Yeah.
Like the way I rock, you know that I'm for real.
you miss me, bro. You miss me, bro. Almost an air click.
I got a pocket full. I'm a tourist.
You can't stop the bull.
Whenever I spit.
What's happening, world? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Cognac Confessionals.
Call me grooving.
I'm your host, Deshaun, here at Ware Media Beat Studios in conjunction with VJ TV, Farrell Films, History in the Making Entertainment, Keep It Cloudy Productions, Drop Knock, shout out to Camouflage. It's Friday. Got a great show lined up for y'all tonight. As always, you know, giving the people what they need, the information. Let everybody introduce themselves as always, because everybody's here. Everybody here like furniture, but you know what I'm saying. We don't let everybody say who they be, because that's what we do.
Hey, first off, I want to give a shout out to Flodge, man. Hope everything works out. We'll see you next week. This your boy Pharaoh, aka Pharaoh the Most, author, writer, and all around hell of a guy.
Yes.
Rock, a.k.a. Levitz. You'll love it at Levitz.
You'll love it.
A.k.a. Furniture.
Nice.
A.k.a. The Roof.
And our guest tonight.
I've been here. I'm furniture too.
Furniture, yeah.
I'm Kat Bobino, regional scientist and author and all-around STEM advocate.
Yes.
Here to talk about science as always.
Regional scientist.
Yeah.
Regional. Regional. You know, when that's like when you got, you know, the managements when they be like regional director,
Right, yeah.
area
Regional
manager.
scientist,
Regions be not no small shit. Too. Regionals usually be like a whole half a section.
Right.
Like old school wrestling when they had territories.
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon had New York and over here.
Right.
Jerry Lawler had the South. That's regional. So she said.
Well, I'm
she
the
just
assistant to
yeah.
the regional.
She said what she got. She's regional.
Well,
Y'all better understand
to quote our great host, I'm going to be humbly cocky
There you go,
and
Pop.
just start popping my own collar.
You got to.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing wrong with being your best cheerleader.
I'm
That's
doing
right.
popping collar lessons after the show.
Okay.
That's probably way.
I'm sure I got to do it right. Like,
Yeah, because popping your collar is like a driver's license. A privilege, not a right.
got it.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
you
but
did.
you do.
Yeah.
So you are
Don't start me, please.
a long time collaborator on the show. You got your podcast In the Know with Kat Bobino. You're an author. You got many things going on. I mean, you know, we support everybody with the team. You be doing a lot. You got NASA buddies, and she be rubbing the elbows with astronauts.
Yeah, she ain't
Motherfuckers
really
that been-
astronaut.
People that been in the Great Beyond and shit from
Yeah.
Land Before Time. You going to the
Best
Great
friend's an
Beyond?
astronaut. How
Yeah,
you know?
you know what I'm saying?
You know, I'm a scientist, and my girl is an astronaut for NASA.
Yeah,
Come
one of my
on,
besties.
man. How can you
Been out
do
there,
that, though?
great boy.
That's dope.
Author doing your thing. Actually, before we go into that, let's start with we gotta pay our respects to a legend. We lost
Brown?
a
Well,
legend
before
today.
we do Jim Brown, I got to give a shout out to my man Lee Man.
Okay.
Lee Murphy lost his son 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
out to
condolences.
Today, Lee,
Condolences.
Bell bondsman in Oakland, wasn't he in the music industry? His daughter's in the music industry, but my man for a long time. He was one of the first cats that I met when I moved to Oakland.
Long time Acorn fixture.
Yep.
Salute, represent
Yeah,
much
that was-
respect,
that's
man.
the folks,
And,
that's the
may the
folks.
Most High bring peace and solace to your family.
His name alone
and
in
your
the
time
90s
alone.
could get you a pass over in Acorn, because it'd be like, oh, you Lee Man folks? You good.
That's it. Yep. So yeah, that's my man Lee Man, and also Jim Brown.
Yeah, so
Rest
Jim
in
Brown,
peace to Jim Brown. I've been
icon,
fucked up all
a
day over
legend.
Jim Brown.
A fixture in melanated, because you know I don't call us black. Fixture in when it comes to fuck this, I'm gonna do what I want, because it's about principle. This man walked away from a brutal sport in the prime.
In his prime, he was 29 years old when he walked away
in his
from it.
prime. And,
we-
and it was an activist, was a teacher, was a voice, was a beacon of light for melanated people, and just just like I said, an advocate, a voice, an ally, a friend, everything, you know. And he got into movie acting and was doing his thing and just really walked away from, because back then, you know, you got to look at, take it into context. Back then, being sports star or film star was really the only ways that the Pilgrims gave us lanes, and he was on top of the game.
Not really even sports stars, you know what I mean? Because there was still so much stuff that he said he had went through. But the thing is that
they was just letting niggas in.
they were just letting us in. And
I'm saying,
football
he was
wasn't
the
the most
top.
popular sport then. It
True,
was
it
baseball.
wasn't. Baseball is always
He
will be the
made
best
football
sport.
popular. And this was before Monday Night Football. This was before
Yeah.
the Super Bowls and the whole 9 yards. What
Right.
people don't understand is when you start having these GOAT conversations,
Mhm.
which y'all cats use, like every year, you young cats got a new GOAT. Let me tell you about Jim Brown. He only played 9 seasons.
Yeah.
He retired at 29 years old. He averaged 5 yards a carry and 100 yards a game. He averaged
Yeah.
5 yards a carry, 100 yards a game. So if it's only 4 downs,
Yeah.
you know Jim Brown good for 5, at least 5 yards.
It took
Yeah,
30
on
years
tour.
for somebody to break his record.
It took, for somebody. If
That
Jim
man-
Brown would have played another 5 years, his record would probably still be unbroken. That's a go. He
Yeah.
played 9 years, and it took damn near 30 years for somebody to break his record.
Right, and you know, 87 years. That's. And when we look at life, the number of years, 87 is a fruitful life. That man had purpose and conviction, and every time when our ancestors pass on to do their ancestral work, they say a library is burnt to the ground. But as long as you got a library card, you always should have access to these books.
That's
But
good.
I know I'll be giving all isms, you know.
Jim Brown saved my life.
Yes, that brother went from football to acting. I know there was when they had the closed set sex scenes back in the day. I remember he's like, no, I did that. You know,
Yeah.
I ain't taking away from nothing, but I respect it. He said, no, nigga, that was me.
Summer of '86, Jim Brown looked me in my eye and told me, do something with my life. It was summer of '86.
Mm-hmm.
I had just turned 18. I was basically floating.
Mm-hmm.
I had just got shot for the second time in like a 6-month period.
It was
And
after you.
my cousin, who had also called a couple hot ones, they said, you know, only advice my mother ever gave me, do something with your life, nigga. You're not going to be long for this earth. Little did she know my psychology was so fucked up that I didn't care about being long for this earth. And so my cousin said, there's this football player. He be coming down chopping it up with the homies.
Mm-hmm.
And he can help niggas get jobs. Let's go get some jobs. So we go down there, and Jim Brown had did this thing. He had a thing called the American Foundation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I walked in, there was this dude named Byron Gilliam,
Mm-hmm.
who was on Laugh-In. One of
Yeah,
the
I remember
first
Laugh-In.
black-
Yeah,
one of the
Roland
first
and
black
Martin's
dudes on Laugh-In.
Laugh-In.
I'm like, oh yeah. So dude was like, yeah. So since I recognized him, dude was like, ushered us right in, and Jim Brown was like, man, do something with your life, whoop-de-whoop. Whoop-de-whoop, gave me this real powerful speech. But of course, being young, as soon as I got out of there,
He was
I
like,
got
I'm going
called
to do some
up,
fuck shit.
and I ended up in LA County, and I was in there like close to 2 years fighting this case. And then right when we know niggas ended up pleading out on some shit. So right when I was about to get out, one of the homies came to me and said, because he remembered me from the Jim Brown thing, and he said, hey dog, the rest of us ain't got no chance. Jim saw something special in you, and you don't need to come back up in here. I got offended. Because I thought nigga was saying that I couldn't walk this shit, and I've been walking this shit, sending niggas off tears the whole nine. I'm doing this shit. And nigga said, man, nah, you got the heart for this, but you got a brain, and Jim see that. Niggas like Jim could use a nigga like you on the streets to save niggas like me.
That's what's up.
And I got out, I went back out to the gym, and he helped me get a job in Westwood, over by UCLA campus.
That's what's up.
And so, you know, so Jim Brown saved my life, and now to hear today that he died, man, I'm really fucked up over it. Because
And-
I know the work that he put in the trenches without no cameras, because he put in work on me.
Right, and even more symbolic today is the heavenly solar return of Brother Malik El Shabazz, known to the common man as Malcolm X. You know, today's that man's birthday. I believe 97, if I'm not mistaken. So numbers is life. Numbers is life. Don't never let nobody tell you that numbers ain't life. You need numbers in everything. It fits in with STEM, math. Is there arithmetic?
Math is a universal language.
Exactly.
That's what they say.
So, I want to send heavy condolences to that family and to the melanated community as all. Like I said, we lost a pillar, but positive thinking. We didn't lose a pillar. He's going to do his ancestral work. If you know True North, you know what I mean. His ancestral work has begun.
He left people with a gang of memories because they've been talking about him on every football channel, every sports channel, period.
All day. He's been in the GOAT conversation forever.
Yeah, forever. Like he's in the top 5, if not the top 4, if not the top 3. You know what I mean? So period. I mean, you can't deny that.
Exactly. He played when the helmets was the fold-up helmets.
Now he played with football was football.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't get no fucking roughing the passer because you poked him in the elbow.
He said, man, he used to get tackled and poked in his eye and the whole nine. One thing he said that he did was like he used to always get up slow, so the defense would never know if he was hurt or not. Right. So he said every play he got up slow on purpose.
Yeah,
that's dope. That's good philosophy.
Yeah, so like I said,
really a great man.
Yes, rest in peace to a great man. We got other current topics to talk about, but we're going to delve into I'm going to call you perennial because you're always here often because we support each other, the fam. That's what we do here. The great scientist, biologist, woman, mother, author, melanated queen, Cat Bobino. We're going to toast to you.
Like that. Did you leave out anything?
I don't know.
Can we toast to... I need you to lift your fucking glass. Thank you. Sisters doing your thing. You've been busy. You got your podcast, like I said. You got your podcast, In the Know with Cat Bobino on Wednesdays. You've been doing a lot of things in the STEM realm. You author, which you already were author. You already got a couple of books published. You got new books coming featuring Boss Baby. Shout out to my homie Boss Baby. So where did the idea come to include your son in a book?
Well, about 2 years ago, I was approached by a friend of mine down at USC who partnered with a nonprofit to write a series of children's books.
2 years ago, a friend of mine. No, go
Yeah.
ahead. I mean, that was coming. But
I'm just saying. So, the cool thing is that it was a set of 10 books. I did virtual reality, but it was marine biology, it was gastroenterology, it was all these great stuff, but it was with a nonprofit. So we couldn't sell the books. We could only give them out. And that was really great. We gave them all out to these students in LA.
What was preventing the retailing of the books?
It was a nonprofit, so the money that came to the nonprofit for the
legal aspects.
Right, you can't sell when it's under a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So we gave out all these books in LA, and I think some books went to Mississippi and then some other places, but they didn't come to Oakland. And I fought hard to get the books to come to Oakland, but they didn't come. And I'm looking at these books, and people are asking me about it and wanting sets, and I was like, I can't give it to you, or I can't sell it to you. I don't even have copies like that.
Word on the streets is Boss Baby is watching.
So,
Boss Baby, Carter.
So I was like, okay, well, it looks like there is some hype for these children's books that's STEM related.
Yes.
So I was like, well, let me see about writing my own books. And I was like, what can I do? What can I write? And my son's name is Carter. And I was like, well, I want to do something that will include him, that as he gets older, he'll see it, he'll see his face in it, and he'll see what he can do.
Yes.
And then I came up with Carter Can Be. And I actually was thinking about it for 6 months or more before I actually started writing the books. I kept asking people in my life, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about Carter Kimby? What do you think about this?
Right. I remember those conversations.
Right. And then I eventually was like, okay, I'm going to actually sit down and do it. And I did.
That's what's up. So salute to that. That is dope as hell. And Javari, what's happening, man? Yeah, Boss Baby watching. Carter, what's happening, my guy? That to just the actual realization of having that thought process and putting it into physical form, like you said, something that he can say I'm a part of. Because can you imagine as a child and you grow up and be like, hey, this book is based on me as a kid. That's
brag shit.
Yeah, that's brag stuff. That's dope, and it's to have someone who cares enough about you to include you and encompass you in the growth of in the learning sphere that we're involved in is dope as hell.
Is he in preschool yet?
He is 2.
He's
He
2.
is not in nothing.
When he get in preschool,
He's in the
or
terribles.
whatever, like when he get in preschool or whatever, he gonna be like,
He be like,
yeah, that book y'all reading? That's your boy right there.
He'll be like, hey.
Yes, I mean,
You know, you want me to sit by you in class? I need your chocolate milk.
you know that's me, right?
I need your chocolate vegan milk
Yep.
to sit by
I'm
me.
gonna need them graham crackers.
I'm already
boy.
destined for greatness. But that's what's up. No,
That's
for
a
real.
beautiful thing, man.
It's definitely a beautiful thing. And where can people get these books who haven't had the opportunity to physically read? I know we were talking earlier, but I want you to let the people know what's happening with these books because I'm interested, and I'm pretty sure plenty of people are.
Awesome. Yeah. So right now I'm in pre-orders. They are still being finished up and then printed. So you can pre-order it. It's a set of 4. So it's Carter Kimby, an animal biologist, a marine biologist, astrophysicist, and a seismologist. And so seismology falls under the genre of geology. So
Seismic earthquakes. And
yep,
things
earthquakes.
Like that.
That's right.
Okay.
So that's a volcanist. So I actually have the outline for more books, like one that's for botany and one for straight geology and stuff like that. But I didn't want to try and print 10. I wanted to start with 4, see how that goes.
There you go.
And then, maybe they can be like the Magic School Bus and
There you
start
go,
bringing
yeah.
more of them
kids,
out there.
Kids is watching Dora the Explorer and all this other stuff, so it's great to see, like I said, somebody who looks like me in the book.
How is it read? How are the words in it? Because you're not like when you using all these words. I know you're not having the parents read and a gastroenterologist. You know what I mean? And then you got to spell it out. Like what's some of the dialogue in the book?
So, okay, the first book that's coming out is Carter Kimby, an astrophysicist. And I chose that book because of the people I've been around and the work that I've been doing. And so I wanted to do something because right now it's a big push to go into space science. But the book reads at an elementary level. So even though there's words in it like astrophysics or a galaxy or something like that, it's, for example, it's 4 characters in the book: Carter, Gabby, Grayson, and Athena. And it's like, wow, what is that? And it's like, that's a shooting star. Well, what's a shooting star? A shooting star is just a piece of earth, or not earth, but a piece of debris going across the sky. So it's not for kindergartners per se. It's like 2nd, 3rd grade. Right?
So we're robbing children of their childlike state when people tell them you can wish upon a star. So we're gonna be like, no, kid, it's just a piece of garbage flying across the thing, and there's no Santa Claus.
Wow! First of all, yes, it's not garbage.
It's not.
Right.
You just said it's debris.
It's debris, but debris doesn't mean garbage. Right. I was gonna say a piece of Earth, but it's not from Earth. It's from another planet or an asteroid.
Celestial structure. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not worried about him
So
because
I'm just saying, I understand as an educator, we want to educate the little tots, but also do we want to rob them of their childlike joy and enthusiasm.
we don't sell
I
kids
hate for him
dreams.
to read the seismologist one.
Yeah, you got to give kids the
It
truth.
reads
My man,
the ground opens and people die. Like
Because I mean,
dude.
no, that's,
Now, let me say it like this, right? I don't believe in dimming someone's light when it comes to their dream, right? And the biggest problem we have with kids is saying they can't do something.
right.
And so you change that verbiage instead of, ain't no shooting star, what the hell you looking at, to, oh, you wishing upon the star? Why don't we go look up what this is?
Right.
And you educate them that way. You don't kill the dream. What you do is you just kind of say,
Educate 'em.
how are you going to follow this dream?
And
Right.
nursery rhymes are kind of dangerous. London Bridge is falling down,
Mhm.
Rockin' My
Etymology
Baby on the
is real.
treetop. Like, dude, some of those are dangerous. You know what I mean?
It's dangerous
Babies
when you.
falling out of trees.
It's
like,
dangerous
dude.
when you read into it. A child ain't worried about all that.
Right.
That's y'all
That's
adults.
entertainment.
That's y'all adults.
Like when you get older,
But
you
we
be
gotta
like,
give them the real.
damn, they used to read this to
See,
me.
listen to this. We gotta give them the real. No, we don't have to
Yes,
give them
you
the
do.
real.
Yes, you know that.
You can let them remain
We ain't finna go into all
wild-eyed
that.
and
You
full
wonder,
of wonder.
you wonder why it's 4th and 20. Keep it up that way. It'll always
See, we
be
don't have
4th
to
and
tell
20.
them there's really not a leprechaun and all that with the
Yes, you
rainbow
do.
and this
Yes,
and
you
that.
do.
It's not really lighting factor.
We're not here to
No,
talk about that
you
tonight.
know.
but
There's no Santa Claus.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
There's a North Pole.
Here's the thing, and the North Pole ain't that true north, but like I said, you got to tell the kids something real and give them the intangibles that they need, and
And what age?
that's what you're doing, and that's what we're talking about, because that's what's up. You're giving kids
I hear you.
something to look into, to expand
That's your
upon
third
their
time
horizons.
emphasizing that. I hear you.
And
Just want to let you know I hear you.
That because society puts, like you said, the cannot, and they limit us to being an athlete, being
And
a
an
singer, and run nigga run, dance and bojangles. But there's other things, because I'll just I'm gonna do a half a slip. I'm gonna do parliamentary privilege right now, presidential privilege for half a second. Say, if we allow people who don't look like us to be the definition of the science, whether it's medication, math, or anything, if we allow people who don't look like us to always be the authority in these fields, I don't think we'll ever have a fair shake. We have to start being able to go into these fields
Okay, I get that.
and ask the questions, think outside the box,
Right.
and push for the definition and understanding the true north to move on and progress, or to always be fucking 4th and 20.
So you're bringing STEM into it early, basically, because they're like in the last, let's say, 10 years, there's been this resurgence of STEM, and then they started adding words now, STEM, STEAM, and all this stuff. So what you're
Yes.
doing is you're getting kids involved in STEM early, so when they get to like a middle school or a high school, they're already versed in a lot of this stuff, and it's not so difficult versus throwing STEM at them and like late junior high school to high school.
Well, there's been research and studies show that if you're waiting to junior high school, it's probably too late,
Yes.
right? Because if you go to a kindergartner and say, what does a scientist look like, or what do you want to do? They'll say, I want to study dinosaurs on the moon or some shit, right? And you have teachers and parents who's like, you can't do that. There's no dinosaurs on the moon. You can't be this, right? Yeah, they don't know that. Instead of, okay, if you want to study dinosaurs on the moon, tell me how.
Yes.
Start doing the research. Show me what you can do, right? And by the time kids get to junior high, they've already started being in cliques. Teachers, unbeknownst to them probably, start calling on boys more than girls. Girls start raising their hand as much. And they start saying, oh, I want to be popular, and being smart is not popular, so I'm going to dumb myself down.
Yes.
And then you start to lose them in junior high and high school. So it's not that you lose them all, but you start to lose the majority. So it's better to start them in early elementary to say, here's the possibilities. Like, I'm not telling you you have to be a seismologist, but I'm going to give you the tools to understand what it is.
Right, exactly. Because I mean, you look at you look at the news and the studies, that data is deceptive when it comes to stats, because I can make the stats say what I want it to say based on the measurement of volume that I use to get my equation. Yeah, I'm using.
Damn,
big
that was
words.
pretty good. Okay, I'll give you that one. That was pretty good.
But you look at other countries that you have kids in other countries who are learning things at a much younger age as opposed to here. And you can say, oh man, they're doing dictatorship, they're doing whatever, but they're giving these younglings, you know, I'm a Jedi, so you got a Padawan. You know, once again, I'm giving you you got to give it to them early, because even when we were young, we didn't hear about the first 5 years are the most critical. We didn't hear that shit when we were kids. We didn't. You heard it by 5 to 8 years ago when they finally started saying, oh, those are the critical years. Mothers talk to your kids and when they're still inside you, which the melanated people, we science and, you know, we the sun and the moon and all that. We was doing that before, but
Right.
it started getting told on a broader scale recently.
Well, I mean, I saw a video, I think, on TikTok recently where it was kids in diapers. And they were doing flashcards
Yes.
really quickly. And it's teaching their brains to identify stuff real quick so that
Yes.
they can have a good memory.
Yes.
And you know how many of us was in that class? 0.
Yeah, because I've seen parents that if their child brought home a C, it was great. You damn near throw them a party. But if you
C.
brought home a C in an Asian house, it'd be, to me, you were never born.
I feel sorry for your
I
mother.
feel sorry for your mother.
Time. One thing we damn sure not gonna do is sit here in front of me and praise Asians, because that's some of the most mediocre race on the face of the earth. However, what Rock is saying is true, but you gotta have context to that. If you're referring to a black community that's historically trying to survive, then just, you know, the fact that one of your children just merely is average means that they will be equipped to survive, and that's okay, and that's why we would celebrate. Whereas in some of these Asian households, if you're talking about the Asians here in America, yes, but you're talking about the cream of the crop, because there's a billion Chinese who don't even brush their teeth and barely survive off of subsistence farming. The whole family is going to share one bowl of rice. There's a billion of them right now. So overall, you could say that the Asians are extremely mediocre in their productivity and their contribution to society in comparison to Americans.
We did.
I'm going to have to agree to disagree to that one.
We got half of our technology.
that was a little-
I understand what you're trying to
You've never
mean.
seen a Chinaman on the moon. Chinese are only able to duplicate American technology due to deceivery and deception, stealing it, and then basically putting forth workers basically working for a bowl of rice to produce it. That's why they even can give the appearance that they can compete. But when it comes to innovation and creation, no. And that's the reason why schools like UC Berkeley are going downhill, because you got half the incoming freshmen or these Asian STEM majors who have no innovation, no creation. They just cheat on tests. They study for 8 hours a day and already have the test, they get in. That's why schools like Harvard and Yale are saying, no more Asians.
Disclaimers.
I was just about to say, my disclaimer is
Have you seen the affirmative action lawsuits that the Asians have been filing?
Yes,
No,
but
I
I'm just going to say, this is not my belief. I'm not associated with that. I have my own belief, but
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying. My disclaimer
That was
was this
heavy,
is going
bro.
on the internet
What's
and
heavy?
people can
That was
work.
super heavy,
I'm not
bro.
that. I don't believe
Like,
in that.
damn.
Trying to keep it light, but okay.
You just
Okay.
went in, bro. Like,
The truth isn't going in.
No, there's nothing wrong with the truth. I got you.
but God
I'm going to
damn.
say that's your truth
Yeah.
and what you believe, and that's fine,
Okay.
but that's not my truth.
Let me reword this.
Mm.
Black people in America have overcome oppression, Jim Crow, and all those things. So any achievement by a black person in America is worth celebrating and cannot be looked at as mediocre. Whereas the Chinese have not faced that same opposition.
Understand
So thus,
your words.
I can't give
I
them any props.
don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah, but
I don't disagree on that, but
Well, we shouldn't celebrate mediocrity because we're smart. Like if you look at like a movie, look at this way. You look at a movie like Tuskegee Airmen, right? These cats were college graduates, right, in the 40s. Am I correct? Yes, I am. So therefore, we're capable of being way smarter than is accepted.
And to your point, and both of you guys' point, being the collective resource of excellence, participation trophies has fucked us up as a people. So to his point of celebrating mediocrity, we strive. Yeah, true. You're right. But in life, and we've always been taught and seen and shown different things. We're beyond everything we've been taught. So that's a fact. You know, we dumb ourselves down because we allow ourselves to think lesser than and take the ibbles that they give us and think it's something when there's so much more to what we offer and what we provide. So, and
a lot of these good athletes, they get fucked out of scholarships because their grades are not high enough. And I've heard that time and time again. Like, dude, they was gonna give me a scholarship to this, but my grades, man, and they told me I had to go do this for a couple of years. And if I got my grades up and I keep my plan up, then I can transfer to this. I've heard that a gang of times.
Remember last week we was talking about 5 tools. We was talking about like Prince, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Denzel, the people that got the 5 tools, Jamie Foxx, people who can touch 5 tools, touch different genres, different realms of being and of celestial being, and just touch 5 tools. We got to get back in that realm. It's just, instead of thinking I got to be an entertainer, I got to sell a joke to make you want to see me, I got to run faster than, which we naturally run faster than. But don't get me wrong, science and people taking supplements and actually other ethnicities putting in the work. I'm gonna be honest. Some of them are putting in the work to progress.
Right.
We can't lax on our natural ability. And
for
a lot of us.
Well, no. Let me just say it like my opinion, right? Because this is all opinion, but. True. Our culture and our race has been so bombarded by the white culture that we're not this, we're not that. We build cities, we do science projects, we make the stop sign, we make the cotton gin, all this stuff, and they steal all of our patents, and they say you're nothing, and when you try to vote, they hang you from a tree. And when you say we have our own Wall Street, they bomb it, right? And over generation and generation, they keep doing that to us. To the point that we now have a hard time working together, and we have a hard time of trying to establish greatness because somebody somewhere is going to say you ain't shit, right? I mean, I can even tell you for myself, I try to do STEM. I try to bring it to the kids. I try to say we need to educate our kids. I have people with PhDs tell me no one's going to listen to you because you don't have a PhD, and this is a black person, right? So we continuously disregard each other instead of uplifting each other, and we got to get out of that mindset that our generations are taught that we can't do better.
Right.
So no, I will never celebrate you gotten a C and being mediocre because I know we can do better.
Right.
But that's my opinion.
I concur.
Damn it.
I remember, and this is personally, I remember when I got my high school diploma and I took it to my grandmother's and I was like, hey, you want to hang it on the wall? And I got to look like, and I was like, oh. But I gave them both because I got multiple diplomas at the same time for high school, and I just got to look out, but I was thinking like, man, you can put that up there with uncle's college shit, and but once again, I speak the truth. I tell my truth, what I live in, and I got told later, it was like, bro,
it's not an achievement.
That's what you're supposed to do. We need more. I'm like, oh. And I thought, at first, don't get me wrong, then at the time as a youngster, it kind of hurt my feelings. Like, why ain't, and then I was like, oh, Okay. Don't get me wrong. I did go to some college. I ain't graduate and all that shit, but I went and got some extra knowledge.
Well,
and went other avenues.
Grade 14.
Yeah. 15 and a half maybe. But like you said, we don't sell it. I hate participation trophies. I get it. We need to tell our kids the truth.
You like participation trophies, bro? Is that
I
how you
know.
shaking your head?
Both of y'all sincerely
I,
missed the context of what I was saying.
No.
I was speaking from that other perspective. See, me, my mother was a junkie, and I never met my father. And my mother had 6 kids. I mean, she had more than that, but she had 6 sons. 4 of them didn't live to be past 25.
Right.
The only 2 that lived past 25 is me and my other brother, who's doing 30 years, and that's why he lived past 25. So for someone in our family to get certain grades or to do certain things, yes, it is an achievement. That's why I kept saying context.
I get what you're saying.
In some families, if somebody does get a C, somebody does get a high school diploma, yes, that is something worthy of celebrating. On the flip side, though, you can also say, yes, you achieved that, but there's so much more, and this
Right.
just proves you have the potential to do so much more. But you can't say, nigga, that ain't nothing. I ain't celebrating that. That's nothing. Because that person is probably surrounded by people
Who don't do
that's
shit.
the ceiling of where they're going to go.
But then the circumstance.
Right.
Right, and
Circumstances, but
And that's
now
why I
that you
said-
added
I
context,
said, but I said the word context.
I know you did, but I'm saying now that you added context to it, which I already figured that's what you were
Now we
doing.
understand.
I just needed you to say it. I understood it. That's why I said I hear what you're saying because I knew where you was going. What's
You have an
understood don't
audience
need to
out
be
there,
extended.
bro, that's
You
like,
got to
what's
tell
wrong
them
with your
because
boy?
they looking like, huh? What the fuck is
What's
this
wrong
nigga
with
talking
your
about?
boy, man? Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I
I
get it.
like Beijing Bowl.
But
Hey.
for
And shout out to all my Asian friends.
we looking
Some of
at
my best friends are Asian.
the future of
I'm sorry, I'm empty.
the
Excuse me.
job, the workforce, like the workforce, unionized jobs, private sector. STEM is going to be heavy.
it's been heavy and
It
it's
has
continuing to
been.
be heavy.
Because technology, we continue to excel and are adapting continuously to the changes in technology, whether it's how we communicate with each other, how we process information, receive information. I seen somewhere and that. So we all grew up in the ages when we had AM radio, the airwave antenna, and you got TV off the airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
And now everything is you got apps, you get your news on
Streaming.
the app, streaming, but that's all technology and growth. And you might want to look at it like they're freeing up that bandwidth on the AM, FM, and the airwaves for important shit, but we want everything faster, fiber, quick, 10G, 12G, 13G, multiple Gs. I mean, we only have 4 or 5G right now, but I'm just speaking on, the evolution of technology. Those are the avenues that melanated people should be really striving to get into because that is the future. Don't get me wrong. You'll always need somebody to make you laugh, to make you cry, somebody to give you a great speech, somebody to make you want to dance, somebody to watch shoot free throws. There'll always be a lane for that. But if you put yourself in a position where that's your only option, when you have 10 million fold opportunities in these other fields that are going to continue to grow, because unless they make the basket move during the game, you can shoot all you want.
What you're saying is you don't want to put yourself in a box.
Thank you. I think outside the box and I come back and destroy the box, because fuck that box.
Yeah, speaking of box, what's this orange box you got right here? You see what I did there?
I know.
You see what I did?
got
You see where I was going with that, right?
Let's go to the community connections.
Yeah, what's in the box?
Okay, so the box is cool, but I want to talk about how the box came to be here,
Yes.
right? So I was reached out by a museum out in Ohio called the Center of Science and Industry.
Mhm.
They do these science kits, partnered with NASA, and they wanted to give away 750 of these kits. So I was like, I'm going to find you somewhere to give these kits away.
Yes.
So on March 3rd, we gave them away at a school and at EOYDC. And it was, I actually never opened the kit until recently, and there's a lot of stuff in here. A lot of stuff. And I was super excited about the fact that we gave these kits away. Here's my downfall. In putting all of this together, I also partnered with my astronaut friend, Dr. Cagle, and we were like, let's do a passport, right? So we got Chabot Space and Science Center, African American Museum and Library, USS Hornet. So Chabot and USS Hornet, you have to pay to go. But we said, no, we're going to get these people in for free, right? And African American Museum and Library and Rosie the Riveter, they had to go to all 4 places, get a stamp. Once they do that, they would scan a QR code, be in a drawing to have lunch with Dr. Cagle at a VR place that was here in Richmond that showed the International Space Station, and they would have been able to do the VR for free.
Okay, that's
right?
big.
Big. 750 kids. You know how many families did it?
16.
0. Not one family took their kids to all 4 places for an opportunity to sit down with a black female astronaut.
That is, see, that's a priority, and wow, I wish I'd have known that before. But wow,
Yeah,
that
so
is.
that-
wasn't. I wouldn't call you. I wouldn't call that a downfall because you did what you were supposed to do.
I did what I was
But-
supposed to do, but what it did was it hurt my heart
Yeah.
that I'm trying to do this for our students in Oakland, and the parents don't seem like they want it. And this
Because-
is mostly black and brown children that got these boxes.
Everybody want to be on Baddies of the whatever, or the hip hop hoes of Section 8. That's the avenues that they.
Holes of Section 8.
I'm just saying.
That sounds like a good show.
I'm just saying.
And
I
you
got
know-
spoofs all day.
And the kicker was the day before the event on the 2nd, we did a walkthrough. EOYDC, Secret Service was there. Turned out Kamala Harris was in town with her husband. She sent her husband to my event at EOYDC. It's on the news. Now on the news, they say it was a NASA event, which it wasn't, but it was
I
mine.
forgot to pop your collar when you said.
probably
But you know,
When
but
you
I
said
can
Kamala
say
Kamala Harris sent her
Kamala
husband.
Harris sent her husband
my
to
shit.
my
She sent her side.
event,
I mean,
right.
I mean, that's when you put the collar.
But you know, I can do all of this, right? Right now, I was trying to put together a STEM festival day. I don't know if you've ever been to the Bay Area Science Festival. They have it every year in San Francisco, and they're not having it this year.
Because it's low participation.
Probably low participation. Also, COVID was a main thing. Also, all the crime in San
Hey, I
Francisco.
say, Bib, you think Oakland is Bib City? Frisco is fucking
ridiculous.
They bip while you in the car.
Right. So I was like, I'm going to bring this to Oakland. A smaller version. Let's do some hands-on stuff.
Right.
And I had a park willing to go. Last time I heard from them was 3 weeks ago. I done sent a couple emails like, hey, we still doing this. Radio silence.
Why do
So
you
it
think
makes
that
me,
is?
I don't know, but it makes me not want to do anything in Oakland anymore or the Bay. Because every time I put myself forward and trying to uplift the kids, because that's the main thing I'm trying to do, I don't even have a better word to say it, it's shitted on.
Right. So, parents, I will say this to y'all. Don't get me wrong. Your kid can probably sing and dance and do all those things. That's great. I'm never going to hate on talent, you know. But you want to have 5 tools. Back to what we were talking about, our conversation. 5 tools. Sing, dance. You need to be smart to meet the most. You need something to fall back on, because if you acting or singing or whatever, there's politics in everything. And you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, your album gonna get shelved.
Yep. And there's no guarantee. Entertainment is not a guarantee.
Right, you're right. And I'm not trying to discourage
Everything is
nobody.
entertaining.
I'm
Right.
not trying to
Everything.
discourage
Some people
you.
do need to be discouraged, though.
I get you. I know what you mean.
Because
But-
at the end of the day, as a person who has produced multiple projects,
Yeah.
I can tell you that the majority of the people that seek this or aspire to this, honest to God, don't have any sort of talent.
You gotta
And it's
study
just
your
basically Don Quixote. Even if they studied the craft, they don't have any actual talent. Like,
Yeah,
for
put in the
instance,
work.
if you were 5'9" and didn't make the varsity, and your woman is 5'3", your kid has absolutely no hope. Let's just
No,
you don't
they
have the
doing they doing leg surgeries for niggas now to make them
But
like
I'm just
4
saying.
inches taller.
I'm just
now.
saying though is that a
But you
lot of
gotta have
times
money
we
for that.
saying there's no guarantee in entertainment. I'm saying not only is there no guarantee in entertainment, you actually don't have a legitimate shot. And if they did guarantee you,
Nate Robinson
you would
was
not be
5'9"
successful.
and won the
People,
dunk contest twice.
you're talking
maybe
about
3
one out of
times.
a million whose daddy was an NFL player and whose mother was a champion spinner. See, he had the genetics
Right.
to be that. I'm talking
They
about
gotta be in you,
like
not
the
on.
average actress that we see, the average singer that we
Mhm.
hear, the average person talking about they want to be a model, or this person, or the
Yeah.
person talking about they putting their kids into the Dynamites and having them playing on this AAU team. They don't have the actual ability to do this.
Call you the dream crusher.
So why are we
No, he
fucking
like
around?
me. I don't tell motherfuckers the truth. Don't.
Well, I mean, I
But
do it
give
in a
them a chance
different
to make it.
manner.
But no, I'm saying, but if you're realistic and we're
Right.
doing this for fun, or we're doing
Right.
this something that this is what I like to do, or even if you're saying, I know I don't realistically have a shot, but they're clear eyed saying, but if the right circumstances come and the lane opens up for me, I'd like to put myself in position. Okay, I'm okay with a fool's errand if the person knows it's a fool's errand and they're hoping against hope that, hey, maybe I might get a break. Some people do win the lottery. I'm okay with it. But if people are not handling business and putting their eggs into this basket,
Mhm.
that's when I'm like, okay, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's how you end up. Oh, go ahead.
No, the thing is, okay.
Yeah,
when-
put your
when-
drink down.
Yeah, you understand
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
You
put
understand
your
me.
drink down.
Now, when you're
Yeah.
talking about entertainment, there's two people in entertainment, and I always tell y'all there's no in between. Either you get it or you don't. Right?
Right.
No in between.
Speak
There's
to 'em.
there's two people in entertainment. There's motherfuckers that, or let's say entertainment, sports, or whatever. There's people that's been doing it so long that you can't help but recognize their talent. There's other motherfuckers that's lucky. They know somebody that can get them to move that much fucking quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Ain't what you
those
know
are
who
two
you know.
opposite ends of the fucking spectrum. It's either one or the other. There's no fucking in between. The in between motherfuckers are broke.
No gray area.
There's no gray. It's either you've been in it a long time, like you see some of these athletes, these motherfuckers been playing football since they was like 5, 6, 7. They was on Pee Wee League teams. Then they get there, then they rise and they deserve to get what they get. Then you got
Right.
these motherfuckers that was just lucky because the nigga got hurt. And they was like, he's good enough and he got good grades. Let's put this motherfucker here, and he got lucky. Tom Brady was lucky. Tom Brady was lucky as fuck because nobody knew Tom Brady was as good as he was. He was third string.
Hey, the
Could you
Winers-
imagine if none of them quarterbacks would have
Hey,
got hurt? Tom
same.
Brady probably would have never been a starter.
Right.
Never.
Same.
Got lucky.
Same with the Winers quarterback Purdy.
Purdy, yeah.
If they would, yeah, I chant. But
He got
but the
picked
thing,
last in the draft. He was the last
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Like, being
Shout
on,
out to
on the
Josh
kickball
Jackson.
field.
Hey,
On the kickball field, he was
Hey.
like, "Is that all who's left?"
damn, I can't get the security guard on the team. No,
Shout out
but
to Josh Johnson.
shout out to Josh. That's the homie, Town Biz. But no, but at the same time, to those kids who may not check off all the boxes, don't give up on your dreams.
Right. Exactly.
No, and
You
that's
gotta have
Yeah.
dreams and something to pursue. So we don't want to curdle and slash your dreams and crush them completely. But when it comes to, because I want to get back to this box, because we didn't go into this box as much as we needed to. When it comes to pursuing things, we need to expand our horizons to all the avenues. I mean, it's like, look at the cardiovascular system, just for example. You know, I'm finna go there.
Conversation for you.
Yeah. You know, the cardiovascular system in the body is immense and expansive. And if you took the veins, that's the veins for you people that don't know. Cardiovascular system, the heart is the engine. I think I can. It's X's and O's. Football people, this is the X's and O's is what I'm talking right now. So if you weigh and stretch out the veins in the body, and we're only what 5'9", 6'1". I'm 6'1". You know, I'm blessed to be godly. Over 6 feet. You know, over 6 foot brothers always winning. You know what I'm saying? But your veins is the BART system of everything when it comes to the body.
Okay.
You line that shit up, you can stretch the body from here to, I'm trying to remember. You can tap in because
I don't know the actual length, but it's long.
It's long,
right? Just like your small intestines, the long intestines.
That shit
can
real
reach.
mild.
Yeah, it's very long, compacted into our bodies.
Yeah.
So
Testing the fortitude, but back to this box.
yes. So this is a box from COSI, partnered with NASA, and when I went in the box, let me go back. Because I have some friends like, why don't you make your own science kit? And then I opened this shit and was like, I am intimidated because these motherfuckers is doing it. But they're also a humongous museum.
Mm-hmm.
But you got like space for all, stickers, and these QR codes that let you watch videos. There's a message from Kamala Harris.
That's a black lady astronaut.
I don't know which astronaut it is.
Is she black?
Is she black?
And she a lady?
Or
Yep.
is she Mexican?
They got all the materials
It's
that's
actually
in
Katherine
here.
Johnson in an astronaut suit.
Okay. They got a passport called
Pretty
The Color
good.
of Science with all of these information about people of color and science. They got an activity book with stickers. They've got Learn More About Artemis, which is one of the newest spaceship that they're using. All these QR codes.
He black too, huh?
He is the director CEO of COSI, is a black guy, Dr. B.
Got black people in his book.
Melanated people.
And he
They
has
try.
his own, he has a couple of shows on
they got
YouTube.
They got hella black people in his book. There's hella black people.
They got a board game. They got safety goggles.
Okay, she white.
Because you don't want to get slimed by Slimer, Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and then they've got this kit with all these little things in there to do like 10 different activities.
Oh, they got white people in this book too.
They do have white people.
You gotta have them because
But-
it'd be racist and non-inclusive. If
There go Katherine Johnson right there.
Yes, that's who's on the picture.
So this box,
Figures.
we gave away 750 of these kits. I don't know how many people opened it, actually did the science projects in
But you
there.
did your part by giving them away.
Scan the QR codes, all that good stuff. And I told the park that I was talking to, like, I can reach back out to COSI and try and get more boxes
Right.
to give away to the kids.
Ronald
And, let me pop my collar a
Wasn't
little
Steve
bit.
McNair. That's the only McNair we know.
Yeah.
Man, basically.
No, Ron McNair is.
Steve McNair is the only McNair we know.
Let me pop my
Oh.
collar right quick because I also told
You're not
them
supposed to tell
Rest
them.
in
You're supposed
peace.
to just do it.
that Douglas Emhoff, who is Kamala Harris's husband,
Oh,
came to my
the
event.
white
He's the
dude.
second gentleman, right? His aide was there, and
Supposed to be a crime.
I have his email and phone number, and he told me next time I do a STEM event, let them know so that the White House would know, so that more things can come to Oakland.
See,
And
Thank you
yet-
for Kamala Harris.
Yet, I can't do that
because
because it doesn't seem like Oakland wants it. And instead, there's a lot of football camps going on right now that these parents
Yeah,
are
not
waking
good.
up for or staying after school for and taking their kids
Getting their kids
to.
there because
Getting their kids to
I
it.
filmed a couple of football camps
Yeah.
and them parents
My
is
son-
there waiting out at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, my son played baseball. My son participated in STEM. We did stuff, and so I feed both wolves. But once again, the point is, us,
Yeah. I
melanated
had,
people. You need to take advantage of these opportunities because one of the things I even noticed going on the campus tours with my son for college when he picked his school, while we were at one of the schools that he was accepted to, the lady came up to us and said, "I need you." It was a sister. And she said, because this program, it was a scholarship and whatnot, she said, "I need you. What are you interested in?" Like with this. There's so many programs that want us, but we rather do other shit, other things. And I'm not saying these other things aren't intangible, but you have a lane of scholarships, of knowledge, of ability to grow and outside of the normal vernacular that we subconsciously subscribe to, the bullshit that is open to us, but like you said, we turn a blind eye to it because it's not trendy. It's not It's not fashionable. It's not, remember, we all grew up with weird science back in the day, and remember, it was the nerds, and they made a chick out of a fucking Barbie doll. But that's the negative connotation that you have with science. And for some, that sticks.
And I do a podcast where I talk to people in STEM.
Yes.
All the time.
I watch. I share.
Can you ask your friends in STEM this burning question I have?
What's that?
Are there extraterrestrials? And are they here on Earth?
You gotta have special glasses to see them, though.
The truth is, yes. Because you're saying a living organism. And can there be a living organism on another planet? Bacteria is a living organism. I'm just saying the answer is yes.
Okay, are there sentient beings walking around amongst us who are actually of extraterrestrial origin?
Okay,
you gotta break down the word extraterrestrial.
I will ask.
Terrestrial.
We're gonna use the extraterrestrial in the common vernacular, so that way we can skip the semantics.
This motherfucker here.
I said
seas and shit.
But the terrestrial is of.
To qualify that statement, I never got a C. I was mentally gifted, and my IQ test was 153.
My shit's a family secret.
On the Stanford Beignet test. I was one of the first black students in the state of California in mentally gifted classes, and no, that's completely different than gifted and talented
education.
Gate allowed anybody
we had that
in.
Conversation.
Mentally gifted was only.
Well, how did you fall into another life? How did you fall into that other life?
Because he fell victim to the opportunities that was in front of him.
At 14, we were already accepted into pre-college programs where at the age of 16 we go to UCLA.
Yeah.
The foster family I was living with, who were actually distant relatives, but they were still getting foster money for me, said, fuck that. So anytime we were supposed to go to summer bridge programs and things like that, they said, fuck that. And eventually I got to the point where I couldn't survive with them because I had a family who said, fuck that, fuck him. As long as we get a check, it's cool, but none of that shit, you think you better than us. And I, of course, being a logical person, I needed to survive. I drifted towards the streets because at the age of 15, 16, that was the only mechanisms in the mid-'80s where I could survive, and that's how I got called into it.
I understand, because it wasn't...
But no, there was never any C's for me.
It wasn't prevalent of expanding. I understand completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I was in...
It was the crack era.
Sophomore year, I was in a program in high school, and I went to Woodside to where we was guaranteed a job, and I'm, like I said, a sophomore in high school. And we went through this program. We was guaranteed a job at, I believe it was Sun Microsystems, and this is... I graduated from high school in 92, so I was a sophomore in 90. And I went to Woodside, which is next to Atherton, and Atherton is one of the richest, communities in this country. But I'm just saying.
I turned 16 and had 3 pairs of pants and some holes in my shoes. Literally, 3 pairs of pants. So, it's 5 days in a school week. I had 3 pairs of pants.
For coming on this show.
And
I said my P.
But if somebody front you a zip, you can literally, if they front you a zip for $5.50, you can bring back.
To fronting a zip. You see how that happens?
No, I'm just saying it's basic survival. If you have 3 pairs of pants and somebody can front you a zip, and you can bring back $11.80 from the zip and pound it, because if you break it down into 28 grams at that time,
we talk about longevity. Science is here for everything.
Forever?
Yeah, I know. I think forever.
Yeah. No,
I mean, survival is a science.
It is here forever.
Survival is a science.
So the science. So once again, I implore all of y'all watching to, if you have kids, is it ever too late to get into science?
No.
And are there extraterrestrials?
I said I would ask. I said, you told me to ask. I said I would ask.
And I also want your opinion. Do you believe?
I did. I gave you mine.
We're talking about real shit.
You were being a Weisenheimer.
We're talking about the uplifting of the melanated people, and stop being.
Here's the thing. I work with Kingmakers, right? Kingmakers.
Shout out to Kingmakers. They'll be on June 9th.
We were taping the crowning ceremony yesterday. And the crowning ceremony is kind of like we have programs in these schools, right? It was in San Francisco yesterday. And crowning ceremonies, like these kids get like hats with crowns on them. It was kind of like a rite of passage graduation. And there was two cats. There was a black cat and a Latino cat, or a black king and a Latino king. And both of them said that they were interested, or they were both seniors, and they were interested in molecular biology. I was like, that's dope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Dope as hell.
we got our kids are just super intelligent,
Right.
and y'all don't understand that.
No, they're intelligent, and what I was going to say earlier about the podcast is like, I have a plethora of people that I know who's
that's my
in
word.
this STEM who can guide the next generation, who want to give back, right? But I rarely get someone calling me saying, I have a student who's interested in molecular biology. Do you know someone who's in it who can be a mentor?
Yes.
Right? Because I offer it left and right. Also, I'm offering, if you're on my social media, I offer opportunities left and right. Like, hey, do you want to do this?
We got this STEM thing. Well, he scored 25 points
But
at his last game.
Do you
Right.
find that in general? Because, like, for instance, not to throw my daughter under the bus, but I have a daughter who's an engineer, and she has all of her pals and associates, right?
Mhm.
And when I tried to tell them about you and try to tell them about giving back, the massive amounts of disinterest, because my daughter and her friends, they all have their masters and their doctorates in engineering, and let's just say socially they're a little awkward.
Okay.
And so, do you find that common that other people in STEM fields are not necessarily open to coming? Like for every person like you, who's I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to mentor people. How many do you honestly run into that be like, mentoring people? They just gotta be interested in it or not. What the fuck am I?
Well, I'm
gonna
going to say like 85% of the people that's been on my podcast would do it. Not everybody, right? I mean, there's people out there who time is money. So if you're not going to pay them, they're not going to help you. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to do anything. They don't want to give back, or they feel like they've given back enough.
Right.
And you know that they're not going to do more than what they can do. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's everybody in the field. How many football players have football camps? Right? Some do. Not all of them. Every top star don't have a football camp or a basketball camp. Only a few do.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, it comes in every field. But it doesn't mean you can't find it. Just
I'm
because.
just saying some of the, not necessarily stereotypes, but some of the personality types who end up in science are sometimes very result oriented, very not necessarily very empathetic, not necessarily kind of, you get kind of a more practical, logical type person.
You do get a logical person in STEM, but it doesn't mean that they don't want to give back. Now, yes, I mean, your personality should probably match. If that's the mentor you're looking for, you don't want someone who's completely different than you. But, there's a lot of people and there's a lot of us in STEM that want to give back, that's looking for students to work with, that ask me, hey, do you know anybody who want to do this program?
Right.
But then I might go on a research boat and sell on it and talk about how great it is, and all the black people I know, including close
in
people.
Mexico doing bikini shots.
No, they just like black people don't get on boats. No, they say black people don't get on boats. Last time we got on a boat, we came from Africa. You know what I'm saying? All
I
that.
was on the boat 2 weeks ago and had
We
a
invented
damn
the boat.
good
I was
time.
on the boat last week.
Right, but there's a lot of people like that.
Right, and unfortunately, I mean,
This one.
the question is, because when you look at a lot of things, and even you look at it as a business, how do I open myself up to more customers? And when I say customers, I don't mean in the McDonald's sense of how do I expand my menu and get more people to come buy my burgers, but business-wise, I do mean that. How do we open up STEM and these different programs to make it more interesting and enticing to people? But because you have, like you said, the pitfalls of that's flashed upon us and force-fed to us as the easy way to get on is to coon and do some bullshit, and I got to shake my ass, and I can go be on this reality show with these females, and we go on a trip where we supposed to be harmony, but we fighting because I'm probably got some secrets that the one chick the older chick gonna tell during the shit, and that's the before
That's television.
Yeah, but it's so easy, but that's the way they push us to.
No, let me say this. Like, I had someone recently, right, that I recently met, talking a big game of how he played in the NFL, all his friends, he knows E40, he knows Marshawn Lynch, he knows all these people, right? I said, cool, I'm doing this STEM event at a park. Tell them to shout it out. That's all I ask. I don't even need them to come. Shout it out. Oh, well, do you know them or not? Like, is that your friend or not? Like, all I'm saying is, I don't even need to meet them.
This is the
I'm
real
just saying,
deal.
can you ask them to shout it out? And he was like, well. But he kept talking about sports. He kept talking about the playoffs. He had a long conversation with somebody else about this. And I was just like, He was like, oh, you don't want to be a part of this conversation? No, because I don't watch it. It's not my thing. But I said,
sports
how about
is a farce.
this?
Let them eat cake. And here's the thing. I'm a sports fan on some levels. And I understand the levels of a lot of this shit. And don't get me wrong, I do get into the fan banter and shit and have fun with it because it's entertainment. Is it life? And then, don't get me wrong, I'm a diehard Raider fan. Fuck everybody else and fuck the Lakers. But,
Funny.
yeah.
Well,
but at the end of the day, that shit ain't important.
It doesn't control your life.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing
If
is, he
I can
just
get-
found out, like, because he's talked to me in the last couple of days. His son just told him he likes science. I didn't know he liked science.
You should have been fostering that shit.
How you didn't
My
know?
son that was into
That's an
rocks.
indication that he was not involved.
And I'm not saying that's all parents.
No.
Or
Right.
maybe
But it's
his
not something we
child
push our
actually
kids
told
to.
him that he was into science. He just didn't want to listen.
Right.
Yeah, because he said he told me that this wasn't pushed, so he don't know about it, so he don't really know anything about science. I asked him to name me one black scientist. He couldn't do
You
it.
couldn't say Dr.
Couldn't do
Washington
it.
Carver?
He couldn't say one black scientist, but
Washington.
he
I didn't got
can.
Neil Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. He
Neil
could, but he
deGrasse?
can
Yeah.
talk 30 minutes about the latest
About how
game,
LeBron flopped 50 times
naming
last
all the
game?
players' names,
Right.
naming who got drafted, all this. You know all of
Exactly.
this, but you can't name one black scientist, and
Exactly
you got
my point.
kids. So you tell
But
me
in all fairness, to him, how would he be exposed to this?
you gotta want to
You
be
gotta wanna be.
exposed.
How do you want what you don't know that you want?
You gotta be
We had-
open-minded.
Here's the thing. I'm
You
going to
gotta be
say this.
open-minded. You got to be open-minded, one, and then you got to
You gotta-
basically you got to listen to your fucking kids. That's how.
But here's the thing. And here's the thing. I don't watch as many kids programs like when we grew up.
I do
We
Sonic
had
Explorers in my
we
shit.
had Electric Company. We had Sesame Street. We had
Zoom.
no,
Zoom. Come on, give it a try. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Talking
All that
about
shit.
The big
But-
blue marble.
Yeah, but we had shows back then that pushed that shit to us. And don't get me wrong, we had the other fluff shit at the same time too. And you really back then you had a choice. It was even. I could say it was even kill. Because all the messages and shit was in the cartoons and everything. You had Voltron, Transformers.
You had like
Bad
Mr. T
habits,
telling you,
T,
you know.
bigger for your mom.
Go to school.
Yeah.
Go to school. You had that. Now
fool, that's dumb.
everything's on. I gotta be on some lean. And don't get me wrong, we drink and sip on here a little bit, because we do to be relaxed and talk. But we still gonna give you the real and the ism. Because that's what you're supposed to do. But I think today's society, everything is shied away so much to where if you're not the popular, like you said, it's popular. It's not popular to be smart. But then they listen to Jay-Z, and this ain't no diss or nothing, but it's a very smart individual who said, I'm trying to give you $1 million worth of game for $9.99.
Well, and it's just like, I forgot who I was talking to, but they were talking about Tupac, right? Tupac knew the game.
Yeah.
So he gonna give you that,
He give you both.
yeah, he gives you both, right? He gonna
You
give
gotta
you
feed both
California
wolves.
Love so that you buy the album, and then you gonna listen to Brenda Got a Baby,
Yeah.
right?
I'm going to feed both
So,
wolves.
I was hoping you was gonna say Brenda got it.
yeah, he gonna throw it in there.
I'm a proponent of that.
And that's the thing, like when I said I wanted to do this science day,
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to invite musicians. I want to invite people in town. I want to invite athletes. I want to invite other people so it's not just stem in your face. Let me give you a well-rounded thing. But then, talking to this cat who know everybody, but you don't want to ask them to come or shout it out.
And that's just weak. I'm sorry, whoever he is, that's just weak. Because here's the thing, music is science. You listen to music I'm gonna give y'all a gem.
Music is like math. It's universal.
Music is universal.
Beat is a beat.
music, you listen to it at a certain hertz degrees. They went from analog playing instruments, because you got the true, I'm gonna use the word vibranium just to give y'all some Black Panther reference. Just because today's society is caught on that version of Black Panther, but I'm really on the real Black Panther shit when I say what I'm saying, because I'm gonna give you an ism. The music went from live instruments, strum, you feel it, because the heartbeat. You go from there, then it went to analog. The 808s, the B12, the BS, whatever the fuck. Then it went to tape, LPs, even with albums. You put the needle on and you hit the little crackling. That still spoke to you. It spoke to your DNA. When you listen to an album back in the day, if you had 45s or full albums, it spoke to your DNA. This is real science.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh, no,
This is why kids don't want to be in STEM.
No, but you know
I'm
what?
listening.
Then it switched
No, go ahead.
to CD, and the formula of music switched. Music speaks to you on a hertz level, because it's like water. Water is infinite. You drop a pebble in water, and it is hertz that's given off.
Nothing is infinite.
Well, and so there's a really cool experiment that I saw. It was a professor at Cal State East Bay. She has a pipe with holes drilled in it, like every few inches. She pumps gas in it, lights it on fire. You got all these flames on one level until you play music. Then you see the actual
the fluation.
You know, you see the beat.
I'm making up words and shit.
There's another one.
But but it's music, and then it teaches you about sound waves.
Thank you. Thank you. See,
But that's not what the fuck you said.
I said it the way I said it. I got my scientists to back up what I'm saying. I don't always have the right terms, and I just say what I say in the way I know how to say
Fluation,
it.
though?
I just make up words.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, Mary J said holleration in his dancery.
Yeah.
You niggas was dancing to it. Shut the fuck up.
And Michael Jackson said, Mama say it, Mama say it.
No, he didn't. He said, I'm going to say it one more time, and I'm not going to stop. Niggas thought he said some other shit.
Is that what he said?
Yes. Thank you.
We also got to address, though, part of the
Really?
problem why
Yes.
people aren't embracing,
Yes.
aren't necessarily embracing STEM is that historically,
Yes.
historically in our black communities, there's been a certain level of elitism. There's some people that come from the talented 10th type
True.
mentality. So there's a disconnect between those who are trying to those who are trying to survive, and those in higher education. And until we can address that, you're going to have more kids at a football camp than the STEM, because their parents are coming from a place of they think they better than us. And sometimes those over there, like for instance, I was trying to sugarcoat it with my daughter and them, they look over at, anybody who doesn't have these higher degrees is some lost cause on welfare who doesn't want better. So there is a disconnect within the community. So anything that's kind of academic based, there's going to be a certain amount of parents who are going to reject it due to their own
biases,
lack of knowledge of the situation. You're right.
No, there's definitely a bias, and it's on both sides, and it goes back to the generational trauma I spoke of what white people did to us. Yeah. But W.E.B. Du Bois said, if you are the top 10, you need to reach back to the other 90% and bring them up. Then you have Booker T. Washington, who was like, I want to teach you how to do trade so that you can do your own thing, right? So yes, there's people on both sides that we need to kind of tether that and say, no, I want to help you. How can I help you? Right? And I don't know the answer on how to do it, because again, I'm fighting an uphill battle trying to do it now here in Oakland. And it's just, I don't know who did it, why they did it, how to change it, anything like that. But it needs to change.
True. Very much so.
I need to ask Sean a question.
Yes, sir.
Was that on the back of the album cover that you read, or you just knew he said that?
It wasn't on the back of the album cover, but there was it was proven that Because I was with you.
What did they do?
When we grew up, we thought that. My mama said, but no.
Google the song.
Yeah,
The lyrics.
and what they said, it says, "I'm gonna say it one more time, and I'm not gonna stop." We thought it was Mama say, Mamaku song, because
we just fucked it up for me because I like that one better.
But he was,
Candace
once
is
again, a 5-tool. Michael was a 5-tooler. He said, "I'm gonna say it one more time, and I'm not gonna stop."
You just fucked it up for me.
No, I just gave you affirmation.
You just fucked it up.
I didn't fuck it up. I gave you affirmation.
I like singing
Say
that
it
song.
one more time, and you're not gonna stop.
What version did you like?
I liked it when I thought he was singing about Microsoft.
I'm gonna say it Microsoft and
Microsoft.
business thing. Anyway, so to bring realist back in, the conversation is STEM. Let's go into, because we didn't go into where can people find you at to tap in that are interested in STEM, the projects you have going on, because you trying to bring knowledge and information to us, which is, we ask for gatekeepers and holders of information and people to come back who, you get to this infinity level, and I ain't gonna say most. Some people say, what you gonna do when you get to this level? I'm gonna put my hand back and try to pull the people up behind me. My sister is doing that. We all witness to that. We can't sit here and say she's not doing that.
Okay.
She's attempting to. But where are the people who's willing to say, hey, I want to do that?
Could you let her say some
Yeah.
shit?
Where can they find me?
I'm easy to find. My name's Kat Bobino, Bobino. If you don't know how to spell it, but that means you don't know one of us, which is weird. But you can find me on all social media platforms. My website is katbobino.com. You go there, right on the first page is where you can pre-order the Carter Canby books. You can buy them separately. You can buy them in a set. You can also buy it to donate. Let me put this out here. This is what I really want to do with the books, is find a business or organization, something like that was willing to buy the books in bulk so that I can give the books away for free to the kids.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more time and I'm not gonna stop. What's your website?
katbobino.com.
I got that. I got it.
Thank you. Okay, get that one to me.
My fraternity,
Katbobino.com.
we do books to Africa, so I'll pass your information out to my fraternal brothers. And
Yeah, because I want
every
to,
year.
I could do a book reading at the schools, give them away. I have a printer here in San Leandro who was willing to put the books in a backpack and print it like that to give them out too. So the kids also have a backpack along with the books. So
Black people.
yeah. And fun fact, the books, the 4 characters in the book are Black and Asian.
And all people y'all know, right? You know.
They're real children that are
Yes.
based off of real kids. The Asian kids are actually half white, half Asian. However, in the book, they are presented as Asian.
They're Asian?
I don't know. They're presented as Asian and presented as Black. And so we have kids of color who are talking about astrophysics, animal biology, marine biology, and seismology.
That's what's up.
And if you guys really support it and I start getting it out there, we can keep going with botany.
Got to.
We can call volcanoes. We can talk about, I know.
Makai used to be into geology, all that with rock. He still do some, but we talk.
And the thing is, and one of the things I said is just being open-minded. I have never taken a geology class in my life. Did not care about geology until I was open-minded about going to a school of rock in New Zealand where we walked around and saw all these
Rocks.
formations.
Isn't that first anthropology class, though, basically a geology class?
No, it's not. It's different.
Mm.
I mean, we talking about layers of the earth and all that stuff.
Crust, magma,
Yeah.
was it permafrost?
All that good stuff. And I never gave 2 shits about geology until
But you need to.
I met a geologist, started learning about geology, and realized how important it was. So just being open-minded, because I was open-minded to it, is why I got a free trip to New Zealand.
Yes.
So being open-minded.
And to that point, like I said, we get turned off by shit by society that it's not cool, it's not hip, it's not this.
Society sucks, dude.
Yeah, it does. Twice.
But anything
no
that
double
you-
guac guac.
Society ain't shit.
But I mean, you can take anything you like and break it into science. I mean, you like cooking, it's chemistry. You know, if you like your cell phone, you own it all the time, it's technology. Engineering.
Heat times element times mass equals perfect food.
Okay. I didn't mean it like that. What I meant was you
Yeah, I
take
know
matter,
that was
you add a
other
catalyst,
shit.
which is heat, and you turn matter from one form to another.
That was worse than
Once again, I said what I said in nigga terms, and she said it in scientific terms. I did that on purpose. Thank you.
Okay, alcohol.
Alcohol
What about
is
Break the shit down.
alcohol.
Break
Go
down
for
the
it.
science terms.
Science. Go for it.
The one thing about science is you know how to say I don't know. But what I do know about alcohol is that you're doing fermentation, which is yeast, right?
Yeast.
And so you got anaerobic and anaerobic yeast, right? One that breathes oxygen, one that does not. So you're going to put food, aka, in a barrel with yeast. You're going to plug it up, which means these are anaerobic. They do not breathe oxygen, and they're going to ferment, and then they're going to create a liquid. So really, you are drinking
A
the
science
waste
project.
of a yeast microbe.
Yes, which is basically a science project. It's a test tube.
Yeah. And now
Elixir.
motherfuckers gonna go to the liquor store. I need that yeast right there. That
Yeah,
brown
You got
yeast.
elixir.
That brown yeast. No, the
We-
$10 one. The $10
So,
one.
which a lot of people should know, but not know. Like vodka comes from potatoes.
Yeah. You can.
People in jail know you make Pruno, shit, you get fruit and let it ferment.
You sound like
sit in
Pharaoh now.
No,
How
I'm
the fuck
just-
You go from vodka potatoes to Pruno,
I'm
dude.
just,
the
know.
fuck?
I ain't never been, but I'm
He's
just
the
saying. I
one
know
with the
people that do.
references.
Hey, anyway, tell everybody where they can find y'all.
Cat Bobino on all social medias, and my website, catbobino.com.
You can find me here.
As furniture.
You can find me. You can Google my ass and
He's the
find
roof.
me.
He's,
Yeah, I'm
furniture.
the roof.
he's the glue.
What do you know?
He's the Barry Goldie of where media meets.
I'm in this with him. This is my neighbor in the studio.
He got speak on what we got. We got that double
Like the
feature coming up
Actually,
next
I got
month.
something way more exciting.
We filming this weekend,
I
right?
got something way more exciting.
Go for it.
Actually, my first nonfiction book, Urban Meditations, which is an adaptation of Marcus Aurelius's book, Meditations, adapted for Black youth, will be dropping in July. And I'm going to be doing my first TED Talk on how Stoic philosophy can help young black men in emotional decisions. And it's going to be sponsored by Morgan State University, and it's and by TED, the TED Talks. It's going to be a TEDx, and that will be in August. So if you're on the East Coast, you can come hear me speak on how we can control a lot of the poor impulse and emotional decision making that young black men go through by teaching them Stoic philosophy of Marcus Aurelius and different other philosophers.
That's what's up.
And that's what my life mission is, and that's what's important. I'm here to say
Marcus
to you,
Aurelius?
Yes, Marcus Aurelius. He wrote a book called Meditations, and it is, if you ever take any philosophy classes, it's basically philosophy 101.
Oh, sorry, the name of Gladiator. Wasn't that like
Tut.
the
Wait,
What-
can
what-
I add
Marcus Aurelius,
something?
Yes, go ahead.
So, May 31st, my podcast I'm partnering with Dr. LaTasia Jones. Hey, Dr. Tay, we're going to be talking about black maternal health, and we're going to have an OBGYN on there talking about it. And then in June, I am looking for men in STEM who want to talk about fatherhood being in STEM. And let me go back to black maternal health and the science and the black people of science. Black people have been doing doula, midwives forever, and it was a white man who said, there's money in that,
you need
and
a
took it
license.
over
So you
and
need a
became
license.
OBGYN. The
Or-
father of OBGYN practiced
doula.
on his slaves.
Mhm.
So yes, there's black people who can do it with the white people who keep stealing it, but we're not about that no more.
That was Gladiator though.
That's not what I was talking about.
Marcus Aurelius.
That's not what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I was just.
Well, that was fictionalized. I'm talking about the actual Marcus
But the
Aurelius.
You
science,
not entertained?
the science of
Oh, you not
us when it
entertained?
comes to bringing new life into the earth has always resonated with us, and we've perfected all the sciences. The thing about it is we've let entities who are our children, bastardized, left to the left, take over everything and acquire a license to things we've done scientifically, religiously, spiritually, and there's a license to everything. You know, you got to have a license to fish. If I want to feed myself, if I have a stick with some yarn on it with a piece of metal and a piece of flesh, I have to have a license that says I can feed myself.
Well, we do live in a society that is a collective, and there
Why
must be
minutes-
orders and
I'm
or
just
there'll
saying.
be chaos.
But
Why do you
first,
say-
what's the first rule of nature? Self-preservation.
Why
Why did you
not?
say
But I gotta
men
pay
in
for that.
STEM?
Can I
and
give my
talking
niece
about
a,
fatherhood?
let me give my niece a shout out
It
too.
can't be like any man in fatherhood, or just you just want somebody in STEM.
Hold on, let me give my
So-
niece a shout out. My niece's book, The Three Mothers, is a book about the mothers of Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, and Malcolm X. Her book is now a New York Times bestseller, and it's called.
Can we get her on the show?
Three Mothers. Well, she's in Los Angeles right now. She's moved there.
That's 6 hours away. Can we get her on the show?
I mean, if she comes up, but yeah,
Make it happen.
but her
But
book
you're
is.
a father.
Her
I'm
book is.
about promoting. Nigga.
That's my niece. Her book is a New York Times bestseller. Oprah has endorsed her book, and it's doing massive numbers. And it's called The Three Mothers, and it's by
Salute.
Anna Tubbs. And she just got her PhD from Oxford, so she's actually now Dr. Anna Tubbs.
Well,
Salute.
you don't really have to be in STEM. It's just, my podcast is about STEM, but I do want to talk about fatherhood. B, my podcast is virtual. She can be on my show.
There you
Okay,
go.
but hey, but just as a shout out,
Make it happen.
I'm so proud of her.
Make it happen.
Dr. Anna Tubbs is now a best-selling author.
Salute.
Yeah,
Much
that's
respect,
dope.
sister. I'm humbly
dope.
proud.
Yes, that's
of you.
the book. Show that
Emphatically.
to the people. This is the book. This is the book right here.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Make it happen. We strive
Put
to
that
make
in my
things
cart.
happen.
It's a really, really good read.
You can catch Farrell at Farrell Films
Mhm.
across the board.
Yes.
We got a double feature June 24th
Yes, the Juneteenth Film and Fashion Festival
at
featuring
the Black Berkey Rep
a
Theater.
movie with our very own Candace Kugler called A Hero Around the Way.
Hey, I'm in that motherfucker.
Yes. Getting just what you deserve.
No, I'm not.
It's all fiction, so if y'all be crying, he's gonna.
I'll
After we
get
said cut, he
shit
got
out of
up,
that.
but I don't want to give the movie away.
Anyway, we got that coming up. We have shout out to J.R. Val Ray. He has the Black
Hello,
World
JR.
Media
Yes.
The New World
Awards.
Media, it's called,
New
World
New
Media.
World Media
New World Media.
Awards, June 3rd in San Francisco.
And I am the PA announcer for that.
Oh, yeah, we'll be in the building. So shout out to my guy. Shout out to all y'all for being here.
And that's in Fillmore, 762 Fulton Street.
Uber there because Bippin is fucking the national pastime over
They
there.
have a parking lot.
Oh, okay, but they it's a big.
Ever disrespecting Mo, Brad, what's wrong with you?
I'm
I
just
ain't gonna
saying,
stand me.
man.
man.
I'm gonna get. I can't wait till they do holograms,
Man.
nigga. I don't want to drive my shit anywhere.
That's funny.
But
Yeah, it's
hey,
Uber only for me, man. Because if
Yeah.
I come out
We
to
got
the
it.
event,
we there.
Well, I
I'm
have
gonna
a
come
van.
dressed.
Y'all can ride with me.
And my lawyer will be there because she's giving away award that night too. She's I
What's
think
the
she's
award?
emceeing also.
And,
I swear to
I
God,
was-
next
my-
time
my
I come
attorney
out
will be
this,
there.
I'm gonna
I'm
find
gonna
the
be
most
there.
homeless
Media
person I can and beat them
Media
without
awards.
mercy.
To everybody, I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Share the page, like the page. For real though. No, seriously though, share the page because we trying to grow this and make things happen. If you have a business,
Product or service.
product, service, if you're an activist, you got something going on intangible that you would like to reach out and be a part of the cast one day, please reach out to us. We can see if we can make it happen because we're about growth and expanding our horizons and bringing your audience to our audience and vice versa. So reach out to us. Let's make it happen. At the end of the day,
Wow. Took me back to.
Hey, I still ain't watched the second Black Panther. But anyway, hey,
It's really
I
good movie.
appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you wholeheartedly, like I said. And now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Hey, we catch y'all next week when shit happens.